So we're starting here a new project. It's called Automobile or Autos. So let's say you're a car dealer and you have all these cars and you want to keep track of them. So what we're going to do is actually use what we call classes. So introduction to classes. So when you have cars, let's create new class here. File, new, that's one way to do it. Class. Oh yeah, save the changes for this, yep. File, new, class. And I'm going to call this class cars or car. Just car, with not just one car. Don't click on public static. You do not want to have, you can only have one public static main. That's the main program. And it looks like I closed the other one, automobile. Let me open it. So that's the main program, and this is the cars. Let me move the cars, put it after here. Okay. So in cars, if you were to list the cars that you have for sale, what information we need to know about the car? We need the type, the make, the make of the car, called make. Is it a Chevy? Is it a BMW? Is it a Mercedes? So that's actually a string. We need the year, which is the integer value. Double. Miles, how many miles on this car? What other information you might need? Boolean. True, false. Standard, for example. Is the car standard or automatic? So every car we're going to list on our lot for sale is going to have that information on it. Maybe the price too, which is also double. How much you asking for it? Price. And that's enough for now. So save this class. So anytime I use the word car here in my main program, it's going to include all of these. Now, I could define all these variables as a private. I could define them as a private right here. Before that, I can write the word. I'm not going to do it, but I'll just show an example. I could have went like this, private. If you define them as a private, that means only this class, this particular class, has access to this variable. Any other classes that you create here, sometimes you have more than one class, they can't use the make of the car. In the next video, I'll show you how maybe I need to define something as a private, but right here is fine. If you define it as public, then all the classes that you create, that includes the main program, because that's a class, can actually grab them and use them. They know what, now for example, watch this, private. Leave it alone, don't type it. Let's say I go to the main program, and when you're using a class, first you're going to tell the machine, that's a class. So I'm calling what? I called my class car. That's the first automobile, auto 1. Equals new car. That's how you define actually an object. Now we have the first automobile, and it's going to have all of these values in it. Instances, all of these. Now, if I want to put the name of the car or the year of the car, I go auto 1 dot year let me just, I'm sorry, I use capital A, that's why I didn't recognize it. I was wondering, auto 1 dot. Here comes the year. This car is equals, I don't know. These are used cars. 2012. So I can use year. Why? Because if you look at year, there is no private, which means public. So any of these classes can use it. On the other hand, if I go to use the word make here, I'm going to have a problem. Auto one dot make. Notice it doesn't even show up. BMW. It doesn't know what make is, because that's defined as private, and private's only good in this class. So if I take the word private out, the default is public. Now if I save this and I go back to this one, now this one is okay now. Notice that X is gone. Now going back to this car here, I define that as public, which means any other classes that I create here, I can use this class or can use the class. If you define them as private, no other classes can use this class. Only the main program. Now, what else we need to know about first car? Auto one dot, what did we put there? The name, we said BMW. The miles, 2012, so it has 121,213.5 miles. Auto one dot is a standard. No, false. It wasn't really standard. That's a Boolean. Auto one, did we leave anything out? The make, we put the make. The miles, we put the miles. The price equals $4,219. We're asking for it. And we list everything about this car. Now, what about car number 2? So this is car 1. Let's see, we have another car that comes in now, but we didn't really get it yet. We can put the color, which is, I forgot, character like red, or a string, red, green, blue. All I know about car number 2, oh, it's car, the type, car, and then auto number 2 is equal new car. And I don't know everything about the car. I know auto2 dot make equal, it's a Volvo. That's all I know. And I also know auto2 dot standard equals true. They told me that's a standard car. That's all I know. I don't know what the mileage, I don't know what the price yet. We didn't get it yet, but it's coming to us soon. Somebody's shipping it to us. Now, if you want to see these cars, you can go display cars. So syso, I clicked the wrong button here, syso auto1 dot name or type, what I call type, or make, plus, let's put a space between them, plus auto1 dot standard. And let's do the same thing for auto2. So copy this one, paste it. This is auto number 2. And let's show us if it's standard or not. We just need to know that information. So if I save this and I run it there, and there's the two cars, the BMW and there's the Volvo. Now I could have printed them with using printf so they line up nicely. So instead of print L, I go printf. And these are the two things I want to print, comma between them, and specify the format. And the format is going to be what? The first one is a string, percent, what is percent? Somewhere here. And let's make the name, I don't know, 10s. Boolean. Then put color spaces. Percent, I think B for Boolean. I didn't really use Boolean in a while there. And there's the comma. Percent B. Let's see if actually that prints that one before I change the other one. It did, yep. So let me go back here and fix the rest of them. So let's do the same thing here. Actually, copy this one, paste it instead of trying to duplicate it. Here we go. Save it and run. And the reason they go one after the other, I forgot to go a new line, which is, I'm sure I forgot the new line somewhere here. Yep. Go to the next line after that. Go to the next line after that. So they're not going one after the other. Notice how, oh, I used the same car. Should be, it's only one car. Oh, the Volvo, no. So I forgot to change the 1 to 2 on one of them. Auto 2, yep. And auto 2. And I notice, you'll see it better now. Notice how the names align on the right side. So if you don't want them aligned on the right side, you come back here, you put a minus sign before the 10, and that will align the names on the left side. Take some of the space out, there's too much space between them. And that's what it's going to look like. So you can list all the cars that you have. So when the salesman or saleswoman walking up and down the aisles when you're looking at cars, they can have a list of them. It says, give me the make of the car, the mileage. You can specify 3 things and the price. So when people ask questions, they have the information with them. Oh, this is a standard car, this one, this is that one. You can list everything about the car. And now that going forward, the machine knows what car is. Any class that I write there will know what car means, because that's this guy. Anytime you use the word car, it refers to all of these pieces, and it's public. So that's really what classes are. The only problem with that, what happens if you have 10 cars? You gotta write all this stuff there. After, I know it's copy and paste, but it's just annoying. So is there another way can we use method to assign values to them? So I don't have to type all that information, auto.standard, auto.price, auto2.make, auto2.standard. So that's what I'm going to show you in the next video. How do we use method to assign values for them?